I'm doing a bit of an unorthodox type of gardening. I do plant on my patio. I live up on a top floor, and so I do plant on my patio. Last year I had lettuce, I had radishes, I had green chives, onion chives, I had red peppers, green peppers, yellow beans, and green beans. So I had that whole concoction on my patio and it grew. And because I get full sun all day, it was absolutely amazing. So I did have to give some of it away because of the fact that, you know, I don't have a place to plant those larger plants. But this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get the big containers that you can get. For potted plants, and I'm going to get them, and I'm going to actually put that on the balcony so that I can plant larger plants, right? Because I'd love to be able to have a lot of green beans and yellow beans. Okay, so what I've done is I'm kind of going back old school, and I remember back in the day when I was a kid at school, they would give us those yellow beans and they would get us to sprout them, and it would be like like I'm not a what's the word, a legitimate homesteader. I live in an apartment in a city, and so I do what I got to do, right? However, grocery cost is really expensive, and so if I can help myself that way, I will do it. So I did get some seeds. Actually, I got a lot of seeds, and I saved them from year to year. And I did plant red peppers and green peppers last year from seed, and they grew amazing. Like they just went absolutely wild. But because my apartment faces the sun, I get full sun in the morning, right? And it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So what I've done is I've taken some green beans and some yellow beans, and I put them in water. I'm going to soak them because back in the day when we were kids, we would get like a paper towel, and you would keep the paper towel moist, right? And you would keep changing it, and that way you could see the sprouts. And so that was the way that they taught us how to sprout from seeds at school. I mean, I was a young kid, right? It doesn't hurt to learn that stuff now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it to get the outer layer off, and then I'm going to put it in a paper towel in a glass, and I'm going to sprout it that way. And when it starts to get roots and little leaves, then I'm going to take it out of the glass, and I'm going to pop it in some soil and do it that way. I find that that might be a lot easier, and that way I can keep an eye on to see if the seeds actually are working good. Now, the seeds that I had from years ago and I saved from actual foods, I would save the seeds from the red peppers, the green peppers, the purple peppers, like all of them. And I love hot peppers, and so I did plant a couple of those. Now the problem is that I'm a little late starting the seeds, and so I need a type of greenhouse. And I live on I have a balcony. That's it. I don't have a plot of land. I don't have a place that I can get my hands dirty and plant the seeds. So I have to be creative. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to make a greenhouse. Now, how do you make a greenhouse when you live on a patio? Well, I found a couple of ways. And last year, I did it. Last year, I did it. I actually saved the trays from kitty litter, disinfected them, scrubbed them down, and used them to package the little seed starts in. Now, not in right in it, but I started the seeds there. And then I did grow my lettuce in there. In the kitty trays, I did grow my lettuce, and you know what, it tasted amazing, and I had salad almost every single day last summer. Okay, so these are I've already put soil. I saved my soil from one year to the next. Okay, so I basically put my soil in a big bag on my patio, and you know, it freezes in the wintertime, and then come now, this weather that we're having now, the nice weather, I'm able to access it, and I still have it, and I use it from year to year. But I do, a lot of the times I will add manure to it, and I will mix that up. And that's what I did at the end of last year, is I had added manure to that soil. So that soil is rich in nutrients, right? Because it was toward the end of the season. And then I packed it away. So what I've done is I filled all my little containers. Now, this one particular, because I need a greenhouse and I don't have one, I have to be creative, right? So what I found is I went to the dollar store, and I found one of these with the lids, right? Now I use containers for all my foods in my cupboard. I mean, when you live in an apartment, you have to be very cautious because not everybody is clean, right? So all my food is kept in containers, but I thought, okay, this one's really deep. I'll be able to sprout my seeds in there and the moisture will stay in because it's in a plastic container and it has a lid. It has a lid, okay? And it also locks. It locks, right? So just goes to show you can be creative. Okay, so the lid comes off. Now, I didn't want my seeds, I didn't want these to sit directly on the plastic because if I water them, I don't want the roots to rot, right? Because if it's sitting right in water, it might rot. So what I did was, I do, I have a lot of canning jars. Okay, so I have variations of different canning jars, right? And I have the different sized mason lids. Now, I don't use the medium mason jars. And so I thought, well, you know what? I could sit it on that and it would stop it from hitting, you know, if there's any water to prevent rot, right? So this is what I did. So I took one of these and it sits. You see how it's, I don't know if I can show you. Okay, so it sits like that, right? And then I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in here and they sit, they literally sit, I don't know if you can see that. They sit on the mason lids. And so I don't have to worry about, root rot. And now this one here, I didn't put the mason lid on the bottom because I'm just gonna sit it on top of this. All of the ones that are in here are red peppers. So this whole container is all red peppers because I love the taste of them, right? So, and I'm just going to put the lid on and I have a little spray bottle because I don't want to wash the seeds away, right? So I have a little spray bottle. I have tons of these. I use them like all the time. I use it to do my conditioner for my hair. I use it for my vitamin E oil, things like that. So I clean one out. I just put water in. And what I'm going to do is every day, right, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to spritz it like that. And it gets fairly wet. It gets the top fairly wet instead of drowning it, right? And having the seeds come to the top. I'm just going to keep it very, very moist. And, you know, you control it and it doesn't make a big mess, right? You don't have to worry about rot. So you don't have to worry about putting too much in there, right? So then I'm just going to, every day I'm going to do that. And that's it. That's it. Now, it needs to be in a warm place, right? Well, we're in the weather now where I am, where one minute it's hot, next minute it's cold. So you have to kind of, you know. So I did put some of my seeds out on the balcony and I have them in coffee, little greenhouses that I made out of those coffee tins from the big coffee. And I do have some, I'll show it to you. But this is what my little greenhouse is for my red peppers, right? And I can get some added, I can get some extra of these from the dollar store. They're very cheap and I have lots of soil and I can fill a couple more up and I can do a different kind. This is red peppers. I have yellow peppers, green peppers, and purple peppers that I want to put in here. And so I'm going to put it in here and use it as a greenhouse and then sprout it and then remove it and put it into a bigger pot. And that's where I've gone over to, a lot of the times the flower shops will do that, right? You ask them if they have any of those round containers and they just toss them. So they'll give them to you. So I get a lot of them and then I just transfer that into those pots. And as they grow, I transfer them into another pot and it saves you a cost. And don't forget, this is about being very, very frugal, right? So if someone's discarding something and they say it's garbage and you know you can utilize that, then nothing, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to keep it out of the landfill. I have, I think, 6 of them on my balcony already that I used last year. Some of them got cracked and broken. That's fine. And that's, you know, all par for the course. But I have about 6 of them that I'm going to be able to transplant the red peppers and yellow peppers into so that they have more room to grow. Now, everyone says, there's an expiry date on the seeds. Well, you know what? Seeds don't expire. They don't. And I'm living proof of that because the seeds that I grew the green peppers from and the red peppers from last year were 8-year-old seeds. I had bought the red peppers, the green peppers. I had eaten them, and I had removed the seeds, and I put them in an envelope, closed it up, sealed it up, and put it in a metal box where I keep my seeds, right? So they don't get any moisture, and they don't, I put them in envelopes. I had them in brown envelopes and white envelopes, right? But it kind of, in an envelope, it'll keep your seeds dry. And so all my seeds are in perfect shape. And I saved them from 8 years ago. And last year I had, I had beans, I had peas, I had green peppers, all from old seeds. I would absolutely love to be able to use my lemon seeds and my apple seeds because I actually had a couple of apples where the seeds were actually sprouting inside the apples. So I would love to do that. If you want to grow a tree, just take an apple and plant it in the ground, and it does it all on its own, my dear, right? And I had an aunt when I was growing up who had an apple orchard, and I would absolutely love to have an apple orchard. I would it's like, it's at the top of my bucket list, but you deal with what you got to deal with. So this is one of my ideas for a bit of a greenhouse until they sprout, and then I'll show you what I keep underneath my cupboard. I keep a lot of stuff under there, a lot of stuff, but it's just for now, right? It's just for now. So these, I drink a lot of coffee. Yeah, I do. I do. And I clean them out. They're cleaned out. There's a little bit of coffee in this one because I just emptied it. However, I'll empty that out. And all I do is I take, and I have some outside. I've done my radishes, carrots, and I think yellow peppers I've already put in here. And I have a couple outside. Now this will only fit 2 of these, right? So I put, with the little lids, with the mason lids at the bottom, I will put 2 of them in here. And then when I take them out, and I spritz them with my spray until they sprout. Because I'm not going to, pour a watering can full of water to water these, because I don't want to disrupt the seeds, right? So I do use these. I have the lids. I do use them to use it as basically as a greenhouse, right? It will keep the moisture in. It'll make sure that they don't dry out from, I mean, I do get full sun, right? Now they do need sun to grow, but for now, until I sprout them, I'll keep them in this to protect them from those times when, maybe it's a little bit colder, or, I mean, where I'm living right now, like, I don't know, this climate change thing is, it's there, sweetie, trust me, it's there, because there's such a change in the temperature and in the weather. So I'm going to use these to protect the plants that I'm trying to grow. So those are just 2 ideas for making a greenhouse. You do what you got to do. I mean, it's better than paying $149 at the store for a greenhouse that's made out of like plastic. Plastic. There is one thing that I am going to attempt. I'm going to try. And it's a laundry basket. You get one of those round laundry basket from the dollar store. You put a piece of a lining in that's plastic, and those laundry baskets have holes in the side of them. So you poke a hole through the hole in the laundry basket into the plastic, into the soil. Now you fill it with soil, right? That inner bed, you'll fill it with soil, and then you poke the holes in, and then you put the seeds. Now that would be great for onions, and that's what I'm going to attempt for my onions. And you take the onion starts and you stick them in those holes right into the soil, and they will literally grow upwards. It'll look like a little tree, right? So I'm itching to try that. I'm going to try it this year because I do eat a lot of onions. They're very, very healthy for you, and they're very, what would you call it? They're very so antitoxin, antifungal, right? Those type of things. So that's going to be part of my project for my growing season this year. Wish me well. Now, I am soaking these. I'm going to soak them overnight to see if, they open up. And then I'm going to put it on paper towel. You put a paper towel around a piece of glass. I'm sure many of you know this if you're from my generation, right? So a piece of paper towel, you wet the paper towel and you stick the seed in between the glass and the paper towel. And it allows you to watch your seeds sprout. It's a wonderful thing to teach children. Like, nowadays, I don't know what they're teaching them, but they're not teaching them how to garden, I don't think. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. But that's not what I've been seeing that they're teaching our children. And, it wouldn't hurt our kids to know, with the state of affairs in the world today, to know how to grow their own food. So I shall see you in the next video. The good Lord be willing. Bye.